every time. Let me just choose love. If we could, right now in the world, there's nothing that the world needs more right now than love. And the world is a projection of everything that we believe. That's all that it is. It's a little metaphysical for new people to understand, but it's it's the reality of it. There is no world except for our projection of our thoughts and beliefs. And so not just my perception, not just my thoughts and beliefs, but the consciousness, our combined consciousness has made a world, and each of us contributes to that world with our thoughts and beliefs. So if we're contributing light to the world with our love, our compassion, our understanding, our gentleness, our peace, our joy, all of that brings more light into the world. Well, we know what happens in a dark room when you turn on the light. Where does the darkness go? There is none. And so when we do that, there's a momentum that brings the entire collective consciousness into more light. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to add light to that momentum. So if what's happening in the world today is of any concern to you, any worry, any fear, well, then don't add more darkness with your fear and your worry any more than you have to. Bring that fear and worry to the Holy Spirit, and with a more enlightened mind, you will experience more love, more light, and you will add to the momentum that brings us into something better, not more darkness, not something worse.
That darkened room metaphor is always beautiful because we want to make darkness something tangible, something that we can physically push away or mentally confront. But it just isn't real. There is no true darkness. There's just dark thoughts that, as you said, we projected outwards. So we're not going through the world battling evil. We're not putting on a suit of armor and carrying a lance and um, literally attacking anything, even in our own minds. We just bring light into every situation. Every situation.
Yes. Yeah. When I first started studying the course, I was a mess, really. I was angry and fearful, very fearful, had tremendous guilt about my past. I didn't have any self-confidence at all. Even when I got to the point where, like 10 years or so into this, before I started actually sharing, listening to the Holy Spirit well enough that I could write something and then share it with others. And I would sit, and because I wasn't just parroting what the course said, I was saying my thoughts about what I was learning. I was so afraid to do it. I would sit there with my finger on the send button and cry because I just knew people were going to go, "Who does she think she is?" So that was where I was mentally and emotionally at that time. And all of that has turned around. Now I share freely. I'm totally aware that somebody is not going to like it. Someone's going to attack it. Whether they do it where I can tell or not doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. I'm very, very, I'm just, I'm just very joyful to share. And what if I'm wrong? So what? I've been wrong so many
Right.
times, and here I am. I'm still here. I'm fine. So I just wanted to say that because of the shift that occurs. Didn't occur all at once. It occurred a little bit at a time. It was like every day something changed. Maybe so minutely I was completely unaware of the change. And then one day I'm writing and I'm going, wow, I didn't know I knew that. Or somebody attacks me and I'm thinking, oh well. and I move on and I'm like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. So it's just a little bit at a time and it's not hard unless we make it hard by fighting it.
And this is, I want to point out to those in the chat, this is 44 years of developing through the course. Um, and what I love about the course is it deepens, and it just deepens, and on and on and on. So I got, as I mentioned to you backstage, I got immense benefit from imperfect practice early on,
Hmm.
putting it aside, putting it aside. It led me to the story that I told you, a very miraculous event, and it was really a miracle as offered by the course. It was that shift of perception where I realized I did not have to live in fear of an addiction. I
Right.
could step into freedom, but it was I had to make that choice, and I wasn't alone in making it. I was beckoned in this
Yes.
direction. Um, but I think of that with my own writing. That very often I'll write something, and um, some people may or may not like it. Some people may or may not like it, and I'm always given information. But this is I write from where I am right now,
Yes.
and I might take all the information that I was given from these others and refine it, and I'll be in a different place tomorrow, and I might write the same thing from a slightly different place than I was the day before,
Yeah.
because the course just keeps asking us open up and open up a little bit more and open up a little bit more. Um, it goes to one of my favorite sections in the manual for teachers, trust. I'm learning to
Yes.
trust.
Everything's built on trust. Start with trust. That's the bedrock.